another figure to our reviewing Transformers Studio Series Gamer Edition Devastation Optimus Prime. And ever since hearing about this figure just coming out and just being made in general, I was already hyped. And having it in person, it's just, I'm not gonna pretend that I'm not gonna say the figure is just amazing, because there are a few things I want to talk about that aren't so amazing. But besides that, just having a figure of a Devastation character, because that's the only Transformers game that I have, at least I can play. I really want to play Fall Cybertron, but that game was really fun, and just having a figure of a Optimus Prime is just amazing. But enough of my rambling, let's go and start off with the review. First thing I want to talk about is sculpting. Actually, when it comes to sculpting, besides the back area, which there are a few gaps like on here and a few other stuff, everything looks great. There is cell shaded tinted windows, or I guess no, just cell shaded windows. The head, I'm gonna go and zoom in on that. The head sculpt looks amazing. There are blue eyes. The blue eyes are just painted great. The gray is painted great as well. I did have one little bit of paint chip, which that was like right out the box. But besides that, the sculpting is actually really, really good. They did a great job on it. That's it for sculpting. Let's go and get into size comparisons. Here he is next to Core Class Optimus, Stu-Shoes Bumblebee, Stu-Shoes Megatron, and Siege Optimus. Okay, now we're going to get into his articulation, which he actually has a pretty decent amount for a deluxe class. He has a ball jointed head, which can go up, not at all, and go down, not at all. It can swivel full 360, in which I feel like they could have just cut a slit in the back, like how they did for the actual Transformers 1 Optimus Prime. They could have just gave him that type of ball joint. I don't know why they didn't do that, but it's part for the transformation though. You can use a transformation joint to make him look up like that, but that just kind of looks weird. He has the hot rod joints, which makes his arms go up like that. It kind of has a little fake butterfly joint. His arms are on ball joints as well, which allow them to swivel full 360 and wiggle a little bit. Is a bicep swivel, a 90-degree bend at the elbow, no wrist swivel. He has a swivel at the waist, which is hindered by the little back wheels, but if you fold them down, you can get a full rotation. He has those War for Cybertron Earthrise Optimus type legs, so it's like a swivel that can swivel up that far, swivel back that far, and a hinge joint where the leg connects, allows it to hinge out that far. He has a swivel at where his elbow connects, which can swivel full 360, and a 90-degree bend at the knee, along with a great ankle pivot. It does peg in, but you don't have to peg it in though. You can unpeg it and you get an amazing ankle pivot. And if you use your transformation joints, the toe can tilt down. That is it for his articulation. With support articulation, if you have no accessories to go with it, which he has two. He has, I'm trying to leave the review. He has a Energon axe, which is in a swinging motion. Just peg it into his hand. And there we go. You can give him some pretty decent poses. You kind of have to. The worst part about it, I mean, the axe is sculpted great. They did a good job on it. I just wish that the swooshing motion wasn't there, because now whenever you have the axe on, he has to constantly be in a swinging motion. You can't just have you can't just have him like in a vanilla pose holding it like this. Maybe like this type of pose. You can't just have him holding the axe like that, because it looks like he's swooshing it, even though he's not even moving the axe, which kind of sucks. But it still looks pretty decent. But I wish that they didn't add that. But I also am glad they added it too, because it makes swinging poses actually look really cool. That is it for that accessory. And he has one more, which is currently in his chest. Speaking of the chest, before I get that accessory, there are no faux parts. This chest grill is the actual grill of the vehicle, which actually I like that touch. I like most of this figure because there are no faux parts, which is actually really cool. But enough of that. Let's go and get into his accessory, in which you're going to want to open up his chest. They're just on hinges, and you have a matrix of leadership, which is unpainted. Which I kind of wish it was painted, but I'm pretty sure that they work off like a budget for deluxe class figures, so they kind of had to. It was either they add paint to the windows or add paint to the matrix, and I'm glad they chose the windows. If that is how it works, don't fact check me on that. I don't know if that's how it works. All I know is that they have a budget for specific figures and size classes. At least I'm pretty sure that's right. Which you can just peg these in. There's little slots in the hands. You guys can see that. You can just slot this in, just like the Transformers 1 Optimus. And you can have him hold his matrix if you can get him to hold it with both hands. I don't think I can just have him in. Like I might have to do this pose. There we go. Now he's holding the matrix, which actually looks really good. Like I said before, I wish it was painted, but I'm not gonna split hairs over an unpainted matrix of leadership. That is it for accessories, and let's go and get into his transformation. Okay, so first thing you want to do is swivel the head around and hinge it back. Okay, so once you're done doing that, you're going to want to swivel the figure around, fold down the wheels, and swivel the whole entire waist around. Okay, so after you're done doing that, you're going to hinge back those little side abdomen pieces that fold out the front grille. Hinge out the side panels and the trailer hitch and sit the figure down. Then you can hinge in the wrists, fold in the arms, fold everything else in, make sure the wheels are folded out, and you have the completed truck mode. Okay, now that we're in truck mode, let's talk about all the new detail which is present, in which there isn't really any, besides the front cab being shown and the trailer hitch popping up. Besides that, there's not really anything else. Oh, there is little stuff molded on the back of the feet. Let me see if I can get that in the light. Besides that, nothing really. I've seen a lot of complaints about this mode, mainly because it looks unfinished, and I can kind of, I mean, it doesn't, I'm not gonna say it looks completely unfinished. There are a few gaps, like little parts here, like in the front grille. I wish they could fix that, but at the same time, the figure's $24. I'm not gonna split that much hairs about it. As long as I'm just happy that I have a figure of Devastation Optimus in my house. That's the main thing that I'm happy about. Like, I'm starting to get a little too biased here. Without bias, I don't mind it that much. Like, just in general. It does, I mean, I'm probably not gonna keep it in this mode because it's the weakest out of the modes, sorta. Kinda. I'm not sure which one's the weakest mode. Or I can say I'm not gonna keep it in vehicle mode. But besides that, that's really it. There is a trailer hitch, which you can connect to the Earthrise Optimus one, which I do not have, sadly. But that's really it. You can peg in the axe on this little peg here. Besides that, finally, that's it for the vehicle mode. I know I said it like 3 different times before this, but that's finally it. And that also is it for the video. If you guys liked it, like, subscribe. Hope you guys have a great day. King Studios signing off.